If you've achieved something, if you've gotten promotions, if you've been the head of a project, if you've gotten that job, if you've gotten into that dream school, you had to do something, even just that application, to be able to qualify, to put you in that place. Maybe you got it because you knew someone on the inside. You had to create a relationship with that person to be able to have that door open, that opportunity present itself in your life. So no matter what, everything that we do, there is some kind of effort that we're putting into it. And I don't want you to discredit even the smallest thing that you do to be in the place where you're at right now. What is up, you guys? I am so excited about today's topic because it is actually about a word that I recently learned about. So I knew about it, but I didn't know that it actually had a name and a clinical definition. And I have to say, this is what is stopping a lot of you from completing and achieving your goals because we get in our heads. And that is the imposter syndrome. I wanted to get the actual clinical definition so that you guys hear it, and then we're gonna break it down. So it says that imposter syndrome is intelligent, successful, and capable people who believe themselves to be fake or phony despite their achievements. Because of this, it is associated with an irrational fear of being exposed to others. So what does this mean? This means that even though you're successful, even though you're strong, capable, smart, outgoing, even though you're all these things, you still feel like you are unworthy of everything that you have in your life. You feel that all these things have come to your life because of luck, because of right place, right time, but not necessarily that you truly have worked hard to get to where you're at. Does this sound familiar? I feel that all my women out there, we've been there at one point or another. And so what ends up happening is that because of this feeling of being an imposter, we start to create this low self-esteem. We don't truly believe that we are worthy of the life that we live. And on top of that, there's this constant anxiousness that, what if people find out? I'll lose everything. Because you like these achievements, you like the things that you have, you like the promotion you got, the school you got into, the boyfriend you got, all these things, you love it, but you feel deep within unworthy of all of these things in your life. And so of course, that's gonna lead to this anxiety that it's gonna slip away from your fingertips at any moment because in your mind, you're not worthy of it. So enjoy it while it lasts. So there's this constant anxiousness, this feeling of unworthiness that eats away at your confidence. And so you have low self-esteem that can lead to even depression. Everything that's wrong, every time someone says something negative, every time someone looks at you funny, you take that and you accept that, but you don't accept the good things. And on top of that, you look at the world around you as more competent and better than you are. So there's this constant comparison to the rest of the world. So you're constantly devaluing what you're doing because it should have been for somebody else. You are not able to highlight the good things that you are doing to get these achievements, to understand why you are getting all these wonderful things. So the imposter syndrome can also be seen with specific characteristics, right? You may have all of them, you may have some of them, you may have only one of them, but I want you to be able to recognize it. So if any of these ring a bell, I'm gonna need you to go, oh snap. Okay, I gotta take notes. So the first one is that you feel like you have to be completely perfect. This is a perfectionist. It's either I'm perfect or I'm nothing. So everything that I do has to be 1000%, which is so exhausting. The second one is that you have to know it all. If you don't know it all, then you know nothing, which means that when someone else comes that knows more than you do, you feel worthless. And you feel like you have to go back to square one and learn more because you should know it all. And you are so hard on yourself because someone else knows more than you do. The other one is this idea that you shouldn't have to ask for help, that the things that you achieve in your life should be done solely and 1000% just you. So the moment that you feel like you need help or someone says, hey, you need help, you already feel unworthy, because you should be able to do it all by yourself. And the final one is not that you should know it all and do it all, but also that you should do it and know it all efficiently. So that means that it shouldn't take you this long. And so what happens is when there's this time pressure, you become anxious, and it's hard to work under pressure and with this anxiousness. So what happens is that the longer it takes, because of all these negative feelings, the more inadequate you feel. It's this vicious cycle of, well, you should know it all and you should do it all and you shouldn't be wasting time researching because you should know it already. And so you feel unworthy of all these things because you haven't done it in this specific way. So if you have felt this way, I want you to be able to regroup and work on coping, because you should never ever feel this way. If you have success and achievements in your life, that means that there has been some effort, any kind of effort put into being and doing and living this life that you do. And I need you to recognize it. The one example that I could think about was winning the lottery, right? Because that's pure luck. Even in winning the lottery, there was some effort that was put into it, because you had to actually play the lottery. You had to get out of bed, get out of your house, go to this specific place, think about the numbers, or pay. So you even made an investment. I know that this is an extreme example, but I want you to see that even something that involves luck took effort. So maybe you got the promotion because you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Even when you have connections, it took you creating these connections, talking to people, informing people to be able to get to this place where you have that ability. So even that takes some kind of effort on your end to be able to achieve it. Every little thing that you do counts. And I think that's going to be the number one fighter of the imposter syndrome. It's being able to recognize the efforts that go into everything. Waking up in the morning, getting dressed, getting to work, doing the work, not getting fired, not failing a class. All of those things take effort. So anything that you're doing is helping you get to the place to where you're at. And I don't want you to ever discredit that. Apart from that, I want to be able to give you some tips and tricks on how to cope with the imposter syndrome. I want you to feel worthy. I want you to feel proud and grateful for all of the things that you have in your life. So I want you guys to tune in next week, because I will be dropping the 10 tips and tricks on how to cope with the imposter syndrome. I do not want you to miss it, because it is going to be so good. So make sure to hit that little bell, like this video, and I will be back next week with those 10 tips and tricks. Until then, always remember, Katt cares.